constant charade just will not wash. These latest disturbing allegations about the ministerial misconduct are all about abuse of power. And there is one common fault, Mr. Speaker, with the system currently that the Minister spoke about, and that's the power that's granted by this Prime Minister. The Minister spoke about personal responsibility. Well, the Minister needs to remind the Prime Minister of his personal responsibility. Last week, the Prime Minister said that he knew nothing of specific allegations about misconduct by the member for Tamworth. Then he claimed he had only been aware of reports and speculation. But, Mr. Speaker, the truth is out today, and that defence has been completely blown apart. Lord MacDonald says the Prime Minister was informed about the complaint that was upheld of inappropriate behaviour against the then Minister. Does the Minister here accept Lord MacDonald is telling the truth? Or is he telling us the Prime Minister wasn't aware of it? What happened to the complaint, Mr. Speaker, and why was nothing done at the time? A Minister of State at the Foreign Office has a deeply sensitive role in national security. Was this issue even raised or brought up in the vetting process, and was the Prime Minister informed? And why was this conduct not considered a breach of the ministerial code? Why did the Prime Minister allow him to stay in post? This goes to the heart of wider issues here, Mr. Speaker, and the public have had enough. Since the resignation of yet another of the Prime Minister's ethics advisers last month, there has been an even bigger ethical vacuum in Downing Street. With no accountability in place, how can the Minister come here today and say that this simply just wouldn't happen again? The Prime Minister was personally informed about these allegations, and yet he was either negligent or complicit. What message, Mr. Speaker, does this send about the standards of this government and what they set? What message does this send to the British people facing a cost of living crisis while their government is paralysed with scandal? When will this Minister stop defending the indefensible and say enough is enough?
Minister Ellis.
Mr. Speaker, the matter of what happened with regards to the member for Tamworth is now under investigation. And it is possible that a police investigation may follow. So it is clear that the sub judice rule should apply to individual cases, both because of the interest of justice to everyone concerned, both to those accused and those who are potential victims. So the sub judice rule should apply very much to this debate. But with regards to the appointment that the Right Honourable Lady mentions to the Whip's office in February, appointments in government are subject, of course, to advice on matters of propriety, not to veto, but they are subject to advice. And in addition, the usual reshuffle procedures were followed by government. I asked the House to accept that, bearing in mind the member in question had been reappointed to government by a previous Prime Minister in 2018, and then that he had been appointed in 2019 as a Foreign Office Minister, and then, crucially, that he was appointed for a third time in February. I doubt whether anyone could, in knowledge of those facts, say that this Prime Minister should have acted otherwise than he did. It is the morally fair thing to do in any case. It is the morally fair thing to do in any case to assess the situation based on evidence, not unsubstantiated rumour. It's incumbent on all of us in this House, as it is in society generally, to act fairly. If there is no evidence at the time, if there's no live complaint, no ongoing investigation, surely it is not unreasonable to consider making an appointment. Now, I have made some initial inquiries subject to, this is subject to further assessment, but in the limited amount of time available, my understanding is as follows. In October 2019, officials raised concerns with the Permanent Secretary concerning the member in question. The Permanent Secretary commissioned work to establish facts. That was undertaken on his behalf by the Cabinet Office. This exercise reported in due course to the then Permanent Secretary, who had agreed its terms. The exercise established that while the Minister meant no harm, what had occurred caused a high level of discomfort. This is what the exercise established. The Minister apologised, and those raising the concern accepted the resolution. The Prime Minister was made aware of this issue in late 2019. He was told that the Permanent Secretary had taken the necessary action. No issue, therefore, arose about remaining as a minister. And last week, when fresh allegations arose, the Prime Minister did not immediately recall the conversation in late 2019 about this incident. As soon as he was reminded, the Number 10 press office corrected their public lines. So the position is quite clear. Further inquiries will be made, but the position is that the Prime Minister acted with probity at all times. It is not appropriate, whether in private life or in public life, to act on unsubstantiated rumour.